North Dakota to the bunker and the 701 sound off. You might be wondering why I'm holding up my 10 digits here. It's just to show you that we survived the 4th of July. I didn't blow any of them off.
That's good.
Sergeant Rouse, how was your 4th of July?
It was good. We went to the Sertoma Park in Grand Forks. I guess I've been living there for over a year now, or a year and a half, and I didn't know they put on like this big event the city does, or not the city, the Sertoma Club, and they put on this event where a bunch of food trucks come out and there is, live music, and there was a magician and some clowns, which I didn't like. I didn't like the clowns.
No.
But bunch of stuff, bouncy castles, activities for the kids to do. So we went out there and took the dogs out and got to see, see what was up. There was a barbecue food truck that I tore up. Loved it, right? I unfortunately got not unfortunately, because it was still really good, but I got the pulled pork sandwich. Yeah. My girlfriend got the brisket sandwich. I tried a little bit of the brisket. Brisket was insane. Big barbecue guy. I love barbecue food.
Was the pulled pork and the brisket dry or wet?
Well, I wouldn't I wouldn't say necessarily wet, but like when you bit into it, like it wasn't dry. It wasn't like leather, bark type foods. But it was definitely great. And then they provide a little bit of sauce. You put their barbecue sauce on it. And it was good though. We went to that. And then, the city puts on a fireworks show, or Sertoma does again, sorry. But they put on a fireworks show later that night, and that was awesome. We took the dogs. I didn't get to see all of it because we took the dogs. We thought it was a good idea because they didn't really react to like any of the fireworks going on around them throughout the day and like the previous day because there was fireworks going off. Because people don't care, right? They'll light them off, which is cool. I love fireworks. But that was a little too much for him, so I had to take him home. But it was great. Grilled some burgers. Had just a nice day, relaxing day, and not too much. And then, we kind of took it over into the weekend, and the fourth weekend is not just a singular day, right? It's like the whole weekend. And then we went to the Twins game yesterday against the Astros, and they won on a walk-off home run. So pretty cool to see. That was my first professional baseball game ever being in attendance. So it's pretty cool to see the Twins walk away with a win. So it was a good fourth weekend. Good Thursday was awesome. The fourth itself. So definitely great. I had an awesome time. So it's glad to be back though. This was something to look forward to. Great to see your face. Yeah. You look just awesome.
Thank you. Yeah.
Radiant, as some would say.
Yeah.
How was yours?
30 and glowing.
30 and glowing.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seems like terminology in the barbecue world is, if it's not like swimming in the sauce, they call it dry.
Yeah.
But if you have to put your sauce on as like an aftermarket product, then it's dry.
It definitely wasn't, because I tried it. Because I'm a bit of a barbecue connoisseur. Like, I love barbecue food. It's one of my top favorites, right?
You've reminded us every episode.
Third episode that we're talking about food now. Or I am talking about food. We're going to get on this train and get the tracks, warm, right? But I tried the meats without the sauce first. Just because I like to gauge it, and both the pork and brisket. The brisket definitely was way better. I liked it more. But they were both amazing. And then you put the sauce on it. It was like cherry on top. It was great. It was a great little sandwich before we had the burgers. Little stomach expander before you downed about 2, 3, 4 burgers. Fresh from the grill, and some potato salad, and
Yeah, you had to wear your stretchy pants.
Yep. I wore my stretchy shorts because it was warm out. Needed to get some sun on these legs, So wore my stretchy shorts and had a lot of food and had good conversations and just enjoyed the day. So what about you, Zach?
Good deal. Yeah. It was not a whole lot of golf to be had. The weather was meh.
Yeah.
I busted back home for one day, and That was all right. A little rainy, but
Yeah.
played a lot of cards, grilled some steaks. They were
Nice.
very well done.
Ugh. You like well done?
No, okay, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
thank God. All right.
They were well prepared. They were not done well
Oh,
done.
all right, all right.
That's
So you didn't commit a cardinal sin.
no, that's gross.
All right.
That's
Yeah.
disrespectful.
Thank you. I'm a medium rare guy myself. Like, it's good.
Yep.
It's good. Did you do it on like a flat top or like a regular grill or charcoal? What'd you do with that? You a propane or a charcoal guy? That's the question, I guess.
Well, I like the event of cooking on charcoal. Like it's active cooking. Like you're preparing.
It's like driving a manual
charcoals.
vehicle.
It is.
Yeah.
If you really just nail the temp of them coals, you just feel that much more engaged in the cooking. And when people give compliments to chef, you're just like,
yeah, feels so much better.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, just ate pretty good. And I see what you mean about like the dogs and the fireworks, because we had a little dog over and she felt comfortable laying where her back was against the wall. You could tell it was kind of...
She wasn't super,
no.
She wasn't into it.
Because I know dogs have a very effective sniffer, like something like 100 times better than humans or something like that.
Right. We're no scientists.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, something like that.
I wonder what their ears, like their hearing is like.
It's got to be, way better than ours, right? You know? Yeah, that sucks because, like, at least my dog never really reacts to anything. Like, doesn't, care about much except for like bunnies and squirrels. That's about it.
Sure.
Like sounds, he doesn't really care, So it was definitely, I definitely made the mistake of like, we were a little too close to the action. Sure.
And I thought Sertoma Park was in Bismarck. So is there...
I think they had multiple, because there's Sertoma clubs everywhere. Like they're an organization. So they I think they're a charitable organization and stuff like that. A lot of do volunteer works and put on activities
like
and stuff like
elks that. And
kind of like Moose Lodge type stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. And,
nice.
Masonries and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of what they do. So I think it's all around. So it's not uncommon. Because it's like the Sertoma. I think it's just the Sertoma Park. It was cool. It was really great. I didn't know they did that. So it was pretty sweet to see all that stuff. There was a magician going around and he showed us this money trick where he had like 5 $1 bills and then he like flicked it a couple times and it turned into like 5 20s. And I was like, can you show me how to do that so that I can turn my money into, turn it into 20s or 100s, even those fabled $500 bills. Yeah,
later this week, I'm kind of trying to cram 5 days of work into 2 days this week. So I'm just on go mode because we're going fishing.
Nice.
Up at Devil's Lake.
Oh, cool. Good fishing out there.
Yeah, we're going to go on Camp Grafton and we're going to stay on the housing there. They've got their own private dock.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Good. That'd be nice, huh?
Yeah.
Going out with family or?
Yep. Sergeant DeHall is going to come out.
Oh, cool.
For a couple days. And then me and some uncles and cousins, brother, dad.
Sweet. Full party then, huh?
Yep.
Nice.
If we really start nailing the walleye, I am going to cook some and bring some and we're going to try that on.
I'll take it. Didn't eat breakfast this morning, so that'd have been great today, but I'll take it when it happens,
Yeah, we're getting a little hypoglycemic over here.
Yeah, we talk about food too much. I talk about food too much.
That's okay. It's not.
It's always on my mind. If you can't tell, if you're watching the video, you can probably tell I like food.
Yeah.
Right? So it's good. It's good. That sounds nice though. That'll be a good little bit away. Everybody needs to take some time off every once in a while and step back and kind of enjoy life. And you get caught up in the hustle bustle of business and work and all that. And it's good to relax and cast a couple lines out.
And talking of turning ones into 20s, I forgot how much like fishing lures are these days.
Yeah. Spend a whole paycheck, huh?
Yeah.
Easy.
And
poof.
The annoying part is you get it snagged on a bed of weeds.
It's gone, right? Then you're like, it's $8 down the hole.
You're trying to just finesse it out of there. You look like you're a wizard or something. And then you just got to swallow your pride and cut the line. There's nothing worse than that. But
that sucks.
We
That
got
sucks.
boats, so we're hopefully going to be deep enough to
Not deal with
avoid
them.
that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds like it's gonna be a good time, man.
Yeah, and then also on the topic of money, I do not spend any money on fireworks if I can avoid it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not there yet to where I need to blow up my money.
Well, that's what I appreciate people that do spend their money, so then I can watch it.
True.
Because like my brother, back in the day would spend, him and his friends, hundreds of thousands of dollars just for, we would, all night. We lived out of town in Minot. We'd sit all night during the 4th and just light off fire. It was fun. I'm glad that I didn't have to spend money on it, but if I did what he did, I couldn't. There's no way I could fathom dropping, $1,000 on 2 cartloads of fireworks. It's crazy, but I'm glad other people do because it's great. And it's like a production,
Sure.
It's really, really cool seeing all the crazy stuff people can do with that, and like the big finale, and it's not, it's never boring, right? I like things that go boom, and that's why the Army was a great fit for me, because we can make things go boom sometimes.
True. We're gonna get into that.
Yeah. So I'm glad you had a good 4th. Good to see you again. Especially after the long weekend. But hopefully everyone else had a good 4th. Celebrating the birth of the country.
HBD.
Back in the day, she went from nothing to something. So
back to back World War champs.
Yeah, back to back World War champs.
Yep.
So hopefully everyone has their 10 fingers and 10 toes. And if you didn't have them before the 4th, and you had 9 or 8, hopefully you still have as many as you had going into it.
Whatever you started with, we hope you finished with.
Exactly. But talking about, money and stuff like that, and talking about fireworks, right? Like, if you had to spend money on fireworks, right? I was thinking about it the other day because I saw a clip from Joe Dirt. If you ever seen that movie, there's a famous clip of when he's on, his adventure and stuff like that, and he stops by a fireworks stand. And Joe Dirt loves fireworks, and a lot of people do. And he walks up to the fireworks stand and he's like wanting to buy some. The guy's like, I only got snakes and sparklers. I believe it's snakes and sparklers.
Yeah.
And he's like, Joe Dirt's like, what are you talking about, man? You ain't got no flim flams, no Willie Pete. Like, he's naming off all these things. And he's like, no, I just got these 2 things. And he's just naming off all these fireworks, right? Maybe as a kid or like even as an adult, did you have a favorite firework? Like, did you, when the 4th came to mind or comes to mind, like what would be something if you went to a fireworks stand or a store near the 4th of July, what would you buy?
Yeah, the 2 that really get the ooh-ahs coming out.
Yeah.
Green, like a really bright green one.
Yeah.
They just fill up the sky. They look really nice.
Mhm.
And then I don't
like an artillery shell type one? Or?
Yeah.
Like
way
not
up in the sky there.
Yeah.
And then I have no idea the terminology, but it explodes and then it's like a warm white color.
Yeah.
And then it just glistens.
Yeah, like
down.
sparkles down.
Yeah, every like explosive in the thing has like a trail of glitter going in the sky. I don't know what
those
you
are
call
cool.
it. They're beautiful.
So you're a big like arty shell guy.
Yeah, we used to have fun with the fountains.
Oh, those are college, cool too. Yeah.
But we got a little danger close on a couple occasions. Like I can think of one in particular, the frog.
Yeah.
The frog, the tongue stick out, the eyes glow. Yeah, we had way too much like flammable stuff by it, and it was done and everybody's hair was messed up and we're like,
we should probably dial it.
Yeah, not doing that one again.
No.
But
no, arty shells are always fun. I'm a big, like, the bigger the boom, the better. But firecrackers, I think there's something about a firecracker that's just so fun, especially as a kid. If you do it responsibly, right?
Right.
You can have so much fun with firecrackers and playing soldier and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'll get into a story about arty shells, but like another one was one of those ones where you lit it and it spun and it was like, and it like goes up. Those are pretty cool too. I don't know what it is about those. I love them. Right? I think they're so fun.
I gotta say that the sound you made right there, that was
pretty accurate, right?
Honestly, that was spot on.
I didn't practice that before, I do some good impressions. not
Yeah.
really. But that one was awesome. I'll pat myself on the back on that one.
I like that.
But arty shells are great. I remember one year we were lighting fireworks off at the house, having a fire at the same time. You know, we had a pretty long driveway, and end of the driveway where we were lighting this fireworks off, and then you know you got the loose cardboard and stuff, and you got the fire going. So you know you're not just gonna leave. You're gonna toss the cardboard in the fire and burn it, right, instead of throwing it away, whatever. And someone, I can't remember who tossed it in, but it was in the discard pile, basically, like the used pile is all gone, right?
Right.
And they just tossed in a thing of cardboard, and next thing you know, it was like 4th of July, but up close and personal.
Yeah.
And things started going boom, and it was wild. So luckily no one got hurt. So that's why it was like, oh, that was pretty cool after the fact, and everyone laughed about it. But it was pretty wild. But arty shells, man, they're so fun. The massive ones, I've seen a bunch of videos this last week, you know, on Instagram Reels of people walking with these arty shells, and they're as big as their torso, and they put it off, and you got to be like a mile away to watch this thing happen, and it's sick. So I gotta admit, you know, arty shells and those little spinners are pretty awesome. Back when they had bottle rockets too. I don't know if they have bottle rockets anymore, but bottle rockets were sweet.
Yeah, that was probably like circa
early 2000s,
7-ish.
Yeah, those were cool though.
They were.
Yeah, like the just, but the fact that you want to, like, you know, people wanted to point them at each other and stuff like that, and you know,
we have our bosses listening, but anyway. You could.
I didn't do it. I was 7 years old. I didn't want to do it.
I totally did it. But you would light them. You would try to spin them and try to like project the angle.
Same with like Roman candles, right?
Yeah.
You ever do Roman candle wars? So back when we were, you know, irresponsible, don't do that.
Yep. Please.
It's not safe.
Practice safe fireworks, folks. Disposing of the fireworks is very important.
Very important.
Last year, I mowed my lawn the week after the 4th of July. I found like an M80 with my lawnmower. Like
that could have been wild.
It exploded in the
blades.
In the blade of I was terrified.
Oh my gosh.
I like almost hit the deck.
You just didn't know what happened. Yeah. You're like, what just happened?
And then I thought about it. I was like, yep, I know exactly what happened. I just found somebody's unexploded, like,
they just tossed
UXO.
it. Yeah,
like,
basically.
I had to get EOD out there to mow my dang.
Check the rest of it. You know, you go mine sweeping and do the stick poke.
Yeah, I had to cordon my front yard for a while there.
Oh man, that's insane. I mean, fireworks are fun, but fireworks, you know, you got to be responsible, but they're expensive, right? And you know that kind of brings us into one of our ad reads here.
Here we go.
We're gonna talk about a little chunk of cash that, you know, you can earn if you're currently in the North Dakota National Guard and actively retired from the North Dakota Army National Guard. So are you looking for a way to make an impact in today's North Dakota Army National Guard and also earn some extra cash? The ND 1000 leads to enlistment bonus has now been expanded to encompass both current and former members of the North Dakota Army National Guard. Crazy.
Dang.
That's insane. You know, it's cool that we're letting other people, you know, people that have gotten out, help us with, you know, strengthening the force.
Yep.
So all you really need to do is submit a lead in the ND Guard app. You just go on your app store on Google, so Android App Store or the Apple App Store, ND Guard app. Type that in, it pops up. Download it, and that's where you can submit a lead. Once that, if and when that lead enlists, you'll receive $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. Visit ndarmyguard.com/ND1000 to learn more about this golden opportunity. $1,000. $1,000, and like you don't have to do much. You just got to know the person. You might have to talk to, you know, the person that gets that lead, and kind of give them a backstory. Maybe, you know, sit on a meeting once or twice. But not a lot of work to get $1,000. What would you do with $1,000? I can think of a couple things I'd do.
Honestly, I
could do a lot with $1,000.
I would look to revolutionize my kitchen knives.
Yeah.
I would look weren't expecting that one, I could tell.
Yeah.
I would look to get like some really sharp, like Japanese kitchen
Oh
knives.
yeah.
I would look to get like a new set of like bowls and plates. $1,000 goes pretty quick when you're talking
It
like
does.
that type of stuff. I know knife sets alone,
Yeah.
pretty penny, but yeah, give me a new set of chef cutlery.
Yeah. To chef it up.
I'm all about it.
I mean, I would like to think, you know, the boring response is like, I'd be responsible. I put it in savings.
Yeah.
I don't think I do that.
No.
I think I would be irresponsible maybe once or twice, you know, because you can submit. You're not going to just get it one time. Like the more leads you submit, the more money you can get. Right. I don't know. I would probably, if I had $1,000, I think I would take a trip somewhere. I think I would go up, you know, go over maybe to Montana or something like that and go camping for a couple days and just use that $1,000 for food and stuff like that and go over and gas and kind of do that. That's I think that's something I would spend that $1,000 on, or I'd buy like a new TV or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, a really nice big TV, big screen, or a sound system. I need a new sound system. And if I had a really cool surround system, that would enhance my movie watching time, you know, tenfold. So that's probably what it would go towards.
Yeah, the weekend trip sounds like a great idea. It's not quite enough to like book airfare and all that stuff, but you could really make a memory.
But road trip's a part of the experience. I love road trips.
Right. Yeah, we recently sat down with a teacher from Mandan High School. Shout out to Mr. Sauls. And he was dead set on using that money to work on renovating his bathroom, I think it was.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and just to double tap that one, it's open to former members of the North Dakota Army National Guard. You don't have to be like legitly
serving right now.
Retired.
Yeah.
You don't need to, you know, full blown like DD 214, all of that stuff. Just we can prove you were a former member on, you know, that's where the terms and conditions apply. I'm sure that was like in good standing.
And we got people working that, you know, work mainly ND 1000 stuff, and they are there to help you guys out. And if you have questions, I mean, if put the people in the app and we'll work out the kinks as they come along. And we have great people that work on that stuff. So very, very knowledgeable. Probably a little more knowledgeable than you and I on this topic. But it is a great program because it not only helps us out, but it helps you out. I mean, it's $1,000.
Right. It's totally win-win. And talking to somebody about the National Guard or submitting a lead should never be embarrassing for you, because we're not selling health insurance here. We're opening the door to serve your state, community, and country. And this is the starting point to a lifetime of just like adventure,
opportunity,
service. So
absolutely.
Yeah, never feel embarrassed by submitting a lead. So
no, absolutely not.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it is. Can't talk, you know, I can talk about all the great things about it. So it's awesome. So absolutely download that Guard app. And even if not to submit a lead, a ton of good information on there. Ton of good links, and, you know, educate yourself if you really want to.
You know, on like shows and show like podcasts and other videos, when they're like, drop a like.
Yeah.
We could do something like right here. There's be a link to download.
We'll do it in post. Obi can work some magic on that. So
we'll see if I can put a button right here.
If you want to drop a like, hey, do it. But also download the app. Yep. It's great. It's great.
There's a lot of good stuff on that app.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, kind of keeping up with the trend, right? We talk about explosives. You know, we both joined as 12 Charlies.
We
right?
did.
So bridge crewmen, what we did is, you know, deploy float bridges. So bridges that float on the water. They look like big loaves of bread when they come out, the bays do. And they come and unfold, and you put them together, and you can transport people and equipment and stuff again, or, you know, across bodies of water with boats and stuff like that. That's what we joined as. when you go to your job training for that, you get to do a couple weeks of explosive training, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. I think.
I think because I just think about fireworks. I think about when we did that, and even at like annual training and stuff like that. Sometimes we still get to work with, the charges, creating ring charges, and C4 and stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
I just it's got awesome to do that.
Yeah. So like, tell us a little bit about what you guys did this year for being able to work with the explosives.
Sure. So Camp Grafton is a like engineer schoolhouse right in our backyard. So I'm not sure if it's like a National Guard wide task that you have to check off every X amount of years, or like since we are engineers and 12 series soldiers, it was definitely our year for going to the demo range.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Okay, so a demo range, there's a big standoff from the rest of the base. You go to Camp South, which is Camp Grafton is right outside of Devil's Lake, but you got to drive.
I think it's 40 minutes.
Yeah, to get to Camp South, and that's where all the ranges are: the rifle range, the pistol range, and the demo range. So you go there, and there is some instructors there and some range safeties there, and you get to do some demo knots. You get to tie like demo cord or det cord onto a combination system, which is really cool and really fun. And you're dealing with bang bang putty or C4.
Yep.
So we did that, and then we graduated to a
you do like a cratering charge?
We did, but what's the one that preps for the crater charge? It's like a little ball.
Oh, that shoots down. Shoots down.
Yes.
Oh, dang. I know exactly what you're talking about, because it's got like the teardrop bottom, and it shoots like a ball of like lava, molten basically.
It shoots down.
Dang, that is gonna bother us, and I'm gonna remember this after we stop recording. But it shoots down, so it shoots down basically like a molten ball of like steel.
Yep.
And it creates this hole that's large enough to put in a cratering charge. A cratering charge is usually HE explosives. And it's about, I think they do like 20 and 40 pounds, right? And you put it in, it's like this cylinder, and you put it down on the ground, right?
Shape charge.
Shape charge. Thank you. Yep. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay.
So
my brain is itched. All right.
The shape charge creates like the preliminary hole.
Yep.
For the cratering charge. And the cratering charge creates this massive hole in the ground. And let's back up. So the use of C4 is often misconstrued if you're not in the military. If you play Call of Duty, you think that C4 is used as a weapon. It's not. It's used as a cutting or breaching tool.
Yep.
So, think of trees or steel beams or doors. C4 is a tool to cut and punch through things. So the cratering charge basically makes this massive hole in the ground, and what would be some things you would use that for? Basically like an anti-tank.
Anti-tank, yeah. Coming from like the horizontal side of it, you would use it because like you can use a dozer to create a tank ditch, right? It's just a like width of ground that you take out earth, and it's long, it's wide enough to where a tank cannot cross over, because tanks, I mean, they're track systems. So like if there's a hole, they can track over a hole and be perfectly fine.
Sure.
But these holes are large enough and wide enough that these tanks can't cross over without dumping into, right? And this is just a much, much quicker way to create a tank ditch or to loosen up ground so then dozers can get in and kick out the dirt, right?
Sure.
And it's awesome. I remember when we did this during AIT, we did the shape charge, boom, blasted, went down, dropped the HE charge in, or the cratering charge. And I think it was the biggest one they have, 40 pounds, something like that. And watching this thing explode, and like it sent a ball of clay, because we were in Missouri, so very clay, right? Clay ground. Sent a ball of clay into the air, and it was huge. And it went probably like 50, 60 feet in the air. And it's like, you see that, and you're like, dang, that's impressive. That's so cool.
Yeah.
So,
and the shock wave.
oh
You
God,
you
right?
think
Like a concussive wave, yeah.
commercial fire, or like a big thunderstorm or
Mhm.
commercial firework or like just for personal use fireworks, 1/100th of the sound that this crater charge puts
Yeah.
off. Like your soul hears it. Like,
Yeah.
and your ancestors hear it. It's so impressively loud. It's really cool. Like
And
obviously
yeah.
you're in a bunker.
But even behind the bunker,
Yep.
you feel it hit you, and you're like, dang,
Yep.
like
It's just
it's a unique experience
yep.
that like you can explain it to someone 20 times over, and until they get in that position and feel it themselves, like it's so
Yeah.
surreal, right?
Yeah. Great great grandpa Obergay heard that crater charge. It's honestly so impressive.
Mhm.
Um
It's cool though, because then so you guys did, I mean, you worked with C4, so did you guys you did, um, so did you do any like improvised Bangalores and stuff like
Yep,
that?
I was just gonna say we also did Bangalore. So maybe you're a military movie junkie, and
Mhm.
the scene of Saving Private
Yeah,
Ryan when they have to breach
breach
through all that like
the wire,
razor wire.
Constantine wire, and
Yep,
stuff like that. Yeah.
how they slid that Bangalore
Mhm.
in. I think they call it Bangalore torpedo.
Yeah. Oh my
So
god,
yeah,
they're cool.
that one was okay. I mean, it's the standoff distance you need to make that one go boom is
Yeah,
significantly less. It's much more to blow off quick, and then
moved.
your
Yeah,
forces need to move through whatever obstacle. So
it is cool seeing it like because like the Saving Private Ryan for me was a massive movie growing up. I love that movie, and like
incredible
that's an
movie.
iconic the storming uh Normandy and like
Yep.
Omaha Beach, right? That is iconic. And that scene is super, super like well depicted. I hear from like people that, veterans from World War II and
Yeah.
that also stormed Normandy, right? And historians and stuff like that is it's very well put together. And that Bangalore scene is just crazy because like you said, um, you slide it over and you put it into the razor wire or the Constantine wire, C wire, and they blew it up, and that allowed them to advance forward. Right? If we didn't
Right.
have Bangalore's, what were they going to use to get through the C wire? Because
Exactly.
now you got to either cut it, you got to find a way through it, and you takes forever to cut it, and there's stuff coming at them. Right? It's a cool scene, and it's really really cool to see it in action when you get to do it, right? Because we did it too. We did improvised Bangalores with pickets, fence pickets, and put just mold C4 because C4 is very putty like. You mold it to the pickets and tape it, and then seeing it, put it in that V through some Constantine wire and seeing the wire explode, and then being able to see now there's this massive hole for us to just go through. So
Yep.
pretty cool stuff. A lot of our explosive, like Obi said, is a lot of it is to clear and make way for soldiers to get through, right? To clear things or to destroy things and create obstacles,
Yep.
right? So cutting trees down and creating tank ditches and stuff like that. A lot of applications that are explosives and are combat engineers and people that is their job is to work explosives within the army. That's what they do. They create things. They either create destruction or a hard time for the enemy,
Yep.
or they create an easier walk of life for us.
Yeah. We can delete a road. We can create a road.
Mhm.
And the premier schoolhouse, and honestly, probably the Army for these engineer tasks and jobs is right here in North Dakota.
Absolutely,
It's on the beautiful lake.
we have some of the best
We
instructors
do.
that are
Hope,
passionate and very, very knowledgeable about what they do.
yep, I really hope we can get some of
It'd be
them
great.
on. I can think of a few names, and
Yeah.
yeah, people from active duty, they come to this schoolhouse for a leadership school to maybe be
Mhm.
promoted to staff sergeant or sergeant first class, and they say hands down is the best Army schoolhouse experience in
Yeah.
their careers. So you get all this valuable, not just engineering, but just
Mhm.
education that has crossover to amplify your career
Absolutely.
on the civilian side too.
Yeah, right here at home.
Right here at home.
It's great. So
So
yeah, I mean, shout out to the RTI out in Devil's Lake. Great schoolhouse. Amazing people, and that love what they do. Very passionate about what they do, and it shows because they foster an awesome environment. So, glad you got to blow some stuff up for AT though. That always makes it fun. It's always a fun time.
It was.
You know, can be a long day, but well worth it in the end because you get to see something go boom.
Right.
Right. So, no, that's good. I mean, we talked about a lot, talking about it, you know, a bunch of things. One thing that also comes to mind, you know, since we're on this road is we have grenades that we work with. You know, we work with. You learn when you're in basic training, you get to throw grenades. It's a fun time. Can be a little nerve wracking, right? But it's something you do, and it's one of those things that if it is nerve wracking, it's something to get over and tackle, right? And it's really cool. So our regular grenade, our grenade that we use is the I believe the M67 hand grenade, right? We've used it for a while now. If you say you're a Call of Duty player, or you know you play any of the old war games, you see probably the different grenade where it's like looks like a pineapple on the outside, right? We've kind of went away from that, and it's more like a baseball shape, easier to throw. What kind of grenade stories do you have? You know, maybe because we do grenade ranges and stuff like that to practice and kind of keep up on our skills. What kind of stories do you have?
Sure. So every other day in basic training, you are conquering a new fear. So at this point, you've gone through the gas chamber, the rappel tower, the obstacle course, you've shot your weapon. So it's just another hurdle to cross. So shouldn't be that scared going into the grenade range, but it is a little nerve wracking. Very fun though. So what I can think of is, you know, let's get on to the topic of the theme of today's show is explosives and food. So let's keep it on that. You go to the dining facility at basic training. That is I don't know. That's a whole episode in and of itself.
Yeah.
Just the way you go about eating your food at basic training. So anyways, maybe it's not the same for everybody, but you have to have 2 cups of liquid for every meal.
Yep.
And you are walking in the DFAC like this. And you're doing right faces and half left faces, and you're keeping these cups secured to your chest. And I'm just wondering why. Like, what is this for? But there is a reason, because little did we know that was prepping us for the proper way to carry a grenade.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild to think that somewhere where you got to learn a bunch of new stuff, there's a method to the madness.
Yep.
Right. So, yeah, because when they do that, right, you're walking with your cups, you do your facing movements and stuff like that. You're crisp in the dining hall, and you go to get your water or your milk or your Gatorade, and you're carrying it here right on your chest, high up, right, not down here on your stomach, right up on the chest, right, and you reach out and you get your water and you go back. You always got to carry like this, and if you don't, they'll let you know. They'll fix you.
Oh yeah.
And the method to the madness of that is like when you carry your grenade, especially at the grenade range, you are carrying it, grenade in one hand and your throwing hand, your dominant hand, and your other hand here wrapped around it. It's not like you're not lackadaisical about it because it's a grenade.
It is a real
it's a real grenade. Like they are instilling, you know, honestly, safety into you from day one because they know this is what's going to happen. It's coming to this point. It's a hurdle for sure. And for some people, it might be a fear. But like it's gonna happen, and it's actually, you know, that's almost your last doorway you got to get through to finish basic training.
Yep. So you go to the grenade range. Picture a wide open field of just constantly like reblown and blown up clay dirt, and a giant cement barricade, and then like a standoff of maybe about a football field or something, and then the bunker.
Yep.
That bunker smelled something fierce. I can remember that. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Everybody's crammed in the bunker waiting for your turn to go throw the grenades. So you emerge from this bunker and you can see the drill sergeant, and they're like, all right, private, come on up here. Like, don't be scared. We've practiced this a million times. and you get your grenades, and grenades come in like tubes in big wooden crates. I thought that was kind of cool. How, like, how you go up and grab your grenades from the box in the tube, and yeah, the one thing you do not do is you throw the grenade and you yell frag out and you point and you throw. You're not gonna sit there and watch it like, oh
yeah, it's gonna go boom.
It might be the last thing you ever do.
Right.
So you frag out and instantly you're falling to the ground and you're hitting the deck.
Yep.
Like, you can't watch that, but you kind of want to.
You do.
So the last story I have on this is we had a kid. I'm not gonna say his name.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't.
Oh,
not a good idea.
Talk about 2 left feet.
Yeah.
This boy could not go to the PX and buy himself $5 worth of like rhythm, like, I don't know. Questionable every day. There was a new thing that made you wonder why and how. So it's his turn to throw the grenades, and I swear to God, that thing went straight up and straight down, and
just barely crossed the threshold.
I'm like,
of the bunker.
Dude, what in the world? How? Like,
luckily, everyone else, like you said, you're in a bunker. You're in a building far enough away from this where you're safe.
Yep.
Like, but watching this dude skyrocketed into trying to throw it to the moon, you know. So you're like right direction, but wrong angle, you know.
And I mean, the presentation of throwing a grenade is a little goofy. You know, you're like, twist, pull, flip the spoon, strike a pose, throw. But at the end of the day, it's like throwing a 14-ounce baseball. It's not rocket science. But yeah, he somehow found a way to throw that thing straight up and straight down, like 2 feet in front of the barricade. I don't know. That was terrifying.
Yeah.
Didn't expect anything less from the guy.
Probably more terrifying seeing him do that, because like you're the good thing about like basic training is the drill sergeants and the cadre, they're not going to put you in a position that's like unsafe. Right. Especially, you know, even him doing that, the drill sergeant was there to like facilitate safety, right? Like, they made sure, you know, everyone was okay, but you guys are watching from a distance, and after you do it, you're like, well, this was the right way to do it. I know I did it right because I didn't get yelled at.
Yeah.
And this person does it wrong, and you're like, oh, okay, so definitely don't do that. Right. So, I mean, hey, wherever he's at, hopefully he's doing good and he found a little bit of rhythm and learned how to throw a little more at an angle than straight up to the moon.
Yeah.
You know, so that's insane. Luckily, there's those concrete barriers between you and the grenade. I mean, they have to be there because they have to catch the fragmentation somehow.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, I think you gotta throw it somewhat like 5-10 meters away. And if you throw it 3 meters in front of you, that's not as far as they want you to throw it.
No.
There's a sweet spot, and he didn't find it.
No.
That's unfortunate.
He needed to take off his purse.
Well, hey, he walked, even though he had 2 left feet, he got to walk another day. So that's the cool thing. And he probably left out of his story when he went to go tell his friends at home, you know, how cool it was to throw grenades. He probably left out of the story that he threw it straight up and barely made it over the bunker. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
What about you? Any memorable grenade experiences?
The only one is when because when you practice with dummy grenades.
Yeah.
You know, when you're at basic training and you're at the company where you live, the barracks, and you're practicing outside, you practice with just straight up empty grenades. There's nothing in there. Before you throw the actual live fragmentation grenades with the explosives in it and everything, you work with dummy grenades that they do go boom, but they don't go do boom. They like pop.
Yeah.
Right. The craziest thing was like, we didn't really know this. And when they were giving us the brief when we were at the grenade range, the primary instructor like was showing us, you know, the things we've learned already. Like, you know, here with the grenade, you flick the safety pin or whatever, twist hole turn, and then pull the pin, right? And then he just let the spoon drop and he held the grenade in his hands, and everyone's like freaking out. Like, what did you just do? Because we've been taught, hey, that spoon drops, like you got about 6-7 seconds and that thing's gonna go boom. So all of us are in the bleachers and we're like, oh my gosh, freaking out. And it just like does a little pop out. That's about as much crazy as I got. I mean, luckily we didn't really, have people that I didn't see it happen. I know there was a couple people that barely got like threw it over the wall, like
I know.
and you sit there, you're like you said, it's only like 14 ounces. It's not even a pound. And
No.
you're like, how do you mess that up? Like almost mess that up. It's crazy stuff. So, luckily, they taught us pretty well, and even the people that almost had 2 left feet figured it out, and they made it. They cleared the bunker, but you're always gonna have that 1 or 2 that barely make it,
Right.
barely make it over. Still make it over, and everyone's safe and sound. But it's like it's funny to watch because you see it happen, and the drill sergeant's like, "Oh man, like dang it, we didn't get 10 meters. Like that's all right, but nothing crazy like you, I guess." That's one of the things I did that I didn't have crazy stories for.
Sure.
So, but
Yeah.
still awesome. Like throwing grenades is fun. It's like throwing a baseball, but just a little heavier, and it makes a sound. So,
Oh yeah, it sure does.
yeah, it does.
But
But
yeah, I think just going back on the moral of the story is when you figure out how to get out of your own way,
mhm,
your mind can take you so much further than
Yeah.
you think it can. And you're just like getting over these hurdles and
that
just
you never thought you could
Exactly.
do, and you never thought you were gonna do.
Right.
Like I never thought I was gonna throw a grenade in my life. Closest thing was the M80s for fireworks,
Right.
right? Like that's the closest thing that you could fathom. And then you're like, one day, then you're doing it. You're like, oh my gosh, right? And you've now to this point done so many things in 10 weeks that you're like, you told me I was doing this 4 months ago. If you were like, hey, you're going to do all this stuff, you're like,
Mhm.
no, like there's no way. And you do it, right? Because, you push yourself and you kind of get uncomfortable and you do uncomfortable things. And it's awesome. It's super rewarding. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, we got to get one of those guys from the RTI on the show.
Yeah.
We got to get somebody that did Best Warrior on the show.
Got a couple fellas I got in mind. So
Yeah, I mean,
it'd be great to, get a little different perspective, another
Right.
story, right? I'm sure, 3 episodes in, maybe you guys like hearing us talk, but maybe, it might be nice to have someone else come on and hear a different story. So,
yeah,
that's, that's something that's in the works, and we get to learn some more stuff and maybe learn things that we, you and I don't know yet. 'Cause
Right.
there's a lot we don't know. So
I'm very
knowledge is power, Obi.
Yep,
Knowledge is power. You read a book. I like books sometimes. I like audiobooks,
true.
but knowledge is power. So absolutely, we should get somebody on. I think that's on the docket. I think that's great.
Yep. We are we know engineering.
Mm.
So we're gonna expand to get you guys different chapters of this book, and we're
Absolutely.
excited.
Tons of different jobs.
Yep.
Besides engineering.
Yep.
There's so many out there. So yeah, absolutely. Let's broaden our horizons a little bit, Obi. It's
Well-
good stuff.
Well, you did the ad read, and you did that very well.
Thank you.
I might add. Do you want to maybe wrap this up?
Yeah, I think I do. It was great. Love talking to you.
Yep.
Right. It's good seeing you. Thank you everybody for watching. These are going to be out on, Spotify, working on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, right? Check us out. Check out the ND Guard website, right? ndguard.com. Give it a look. We have a bunch of information on there. And if you ever, if you're interested or just want to learn more, enter your information. Us, being in the recruiting and retention battalion, that's what we're here for. Is we're here to educate you. So plenty of opportunities and a lot of stuff that we can do for you, but more so you can do for us, and add another story to the branch that is North Dakota. So thank you again. We'll be back next week. I'm excited. I always love this. So
Yeah.
it's great talking to you. Be back next week on, I think this one drops on Friday. So
That's the goal.
we'll be here. So give us a listen, give us a like, subscribe, all that stuff. But until then, take it easy.
Peace.